Beat group John Russell and the Clan opening for the Beatles in 1964. In the harsh light of a dusty street in 1930s China, a criminal stands locked in a wooden cage, a kang, while villagers pass by with wary, anxious glances. Jane Mansfield poses during a photo call at the open-air baths at South Shore in Blackpool, as her husband Mickey Hargitay assists her out of a white coat, 1959. A Yakut woman pours kumis, traditional Russian kumis, at the Isyak Spring-Summer Festival in Yakutsk Oblast, circa 1900. Mick Jagger facing a difficult choice, 1967. Polish aircraft RWD-8 destroyed by a bomb, 1939. Game of leapfrog. President Jimmy Carter reaches out to voters from the roof of his limousine during a campaign rally in Columbus, Ohio, 1980. John Lennon and Yoko Ono, 1971. Nichelle Nichols on the set of Star Trek, 1960s. DKW Auto Union with Shipstad's and Johnson's Ice Follies, 1958. '42nd United States President Bill Clinton in the bread department of a grocery store, 1994, Moscow. Audrey Hepburn jumping with her dog in Richmond Park, 1950. A young man says goodbye to his grandmother as he parts to war, circa 1917. Group photo of the Goebbels family, January 1st, 1944. Anti-aircraft fire covers the sky during the Battle of Santa Cruz, October 1942. Early 1900s Native American portrait. Children on car, taken by German photographer Miran Zonier in New York City in the 1980s. West Berliners wave to friends and family across the Berlin Wall, September 1961. James Dean with Valley Keene, Elizabeth Taylor's double, on the set of Giant, 1955. pro-segregation protester at the university with a prop. The same day the first 2 African-American students were admitted, January 20th, 1961. A black girl under police protection after a student uprising against integration on January 12, 1961. Eleanor Roosevelt cuts the ribbon to open the gift shop at the General Assembly Building. Flying boat Dornier du 10. Dr. W.H. Chase shows off his massive Alaskan brown bear hide tacked to the side of a building in Cordova, Alaska. The brute was taken on nearby Hinchinbrook Island in May 1919. Mighty Mouse, the first 3D comic, 1953. Stuntman Ormer Locklear performs a handstand on the wing of a Curtiss JN-4D biplane in 1920. Northern Ireland, West Belfast Catholic area. Youth with a stone during a riot at the top of Leeson Street, by Chris Steele Perkins, 1978. Playing StarCraft in 1999. His Royal Highness Prince Charles sailing with Uffa Fox, Cows, 1967. German soldier with Stalin bust, 1941. A bearded Mick Jagger with Jerry Hall, 1970s. Matahari. Hitler inspects the Schwerer Gustav gun weighing more than 1,350 tons, 1941. Sarah Michelle Gellar, circa 1990s. Claes Thunberg, 1928, Finnish speed skater, 5 times gold medalist at the first 2 Winter Olympics and 5 times world champion. A traffic jam at the Brandenburg Gate between East and West Berlin on the first Saturday after the fall of the Berlin Wall, November 11th, 1989. Pablo Picasso studies the proportions of Brigitte Bardot's head, 1950s. Primary school in Poland, 1950s. The Roswell incident of July 1947. Major Jesse Marcel and Brigadier General Roger Ramey examined the wreckage of a weather balloon that was presented as evidence of a UFO crash. Barack Obama during his studies at Harvard, 1988. Only known authentic photograph of Titanic's dining saloon, 1912. Hairdressers in the Sun, Paris, 1966. Suffragette in protest after the Night of Terror when 33 fellow suffragists were arrested November to December 1917. Gary Sinise, early 1960s. Actress Carol Baker throws open her arms to the men of the aircraft carrier Ticonderoga, CVA-14, as the ship steams in the South China Sea, 1965. Two elephants sitting on a bench. A worker installing a K6 phone box in London, late 1930s. A very young Ava Gardner. A distracted man accidentally pours his beer on Chicago White Sox outfielder Al Smith, 1959. Construction of Mount Rushmore National Memorial in South Dakota, United States, in the late 1930s. A Royal Air Force Avro Shackleton MR-2 flyover of Buckingham Palace, 1954. The mother offered her children for sale in Chicago in 1948, due to extreme poverty hiding her face in shame. The Grimsel Pass, and the hotel of the same name during the construction of a dam, which will also create a lake of the same name. The hotel itself will be flooded and rebuilt further up the slope. Switzerland, 1933. Artist unknown. Marlon Brando with his parents. Quartermaster Fabry, 1st Hussars, veteran of the Napoleonic Wars, pictured in uniform, May 5, 1858. Dorothy Malone, 1955. Priests ice skating in 1966. A Seminole Indian holds a spear with a fish on the end of it. Procession through the town of Cortina en route to the opening ceremony for the 1956 Games. Johnny Depp. Children watching the La Tuna Canyon fire in California, United States, 1977. Japanese far-right nationalists held a Fatherland Day march in Tokyo on May 1, 1961, during the annual May Day celebrations across the country, calling for the dissolution of the Socialist Party. Camera guy on the middle tower in Königs Wusterhausen, Germany, 1926, s 240 meters above ground. Madonna, circa 1980s. The aftermath of the German bombing of London, September 9, 1940, Harrington Square, London. Little boy poses proudly with his perfectly tailored two-piece suit and matching fedora, Washington, D.C., 1948. During the Great Depression, community support was a lifeline for rural families. With cash scarce and resources limited, neighbors relied on each other to survive. B-24. Liberator being hit by anti-aircraft fire over Lugo, Italy, April 10, 1945. A motorcycle-based snowmobile, 1916, New York. The moment revolutionaries entered Ciudad Juarez in May 1911 during the Mexican Revolution. Princess Diana in her black and white polka dot dress, designed by Gina Frattini and worn from 1981 to 1985. On August 6, 1970, Deborah Wolf, 17, was chosen as Miss Smog America. United States Marines wearing gas masks play an improvised game of chess, using miscellaneous military supplies at a base in Saudi Arabia during Operation Desert Shield, October 11, 1990. Local fashion show in the 1960s, only fashion critics and designers present. An elephant named Cam walks with his tamer's daughter, 1958, London, United Kingdom. In 1920, in England, Mary Ann Bevan entered the Ugliest Woman in the World contest after developing acromegaly and losing her husband, doing it simply to put food on the table for her kids. For the film The Goonies, the character Psynock, also known as Sloth, required extensive makeup. Every day it took around 5 hours to apply his costume. 1985. Riots in Paris, 1968. A child wearing a Santa mask, Norway, 1968. Arthur Steele's appealing to the people, Margaret Thatcher in her apartment. Winston Churchill, 1890s. June 21st, 1943. Race riots in Detroit. A passenger is thrown out of the rear window of a streetcar after a crowd stops the vehicle and begins throwing black people off. Einstein and his wife Elsa leave on a 6-month boat journey to the Far East in October 1922. When they checked into their hotel in Japan, thousands of people stood outside waiting for the Einsteins to wave from the balcony. German heavy tank A-7V, World War I. Princess Zahra Khanum Taja Sultana, 1883 to 1936, who was considered a symbol of beauty in Persia in the early 1900s. German soldiers mock the recent Allied defeat in France by wearing captured British and French helmets, 1940. A daring dance act in a French nightclub, 1952. A large Spanish family with 16 children, 1960s. (1956) A child shows his tooth. Britain's first airmail flight on September 9, 1911. Brigitte Bardot, during flamenco dance lessons, 1958. In May 1949, National Army soldiers prevent farmers from selling vegetables within the city limits, China. A moonshine still and glass containers confiscated during Prohibition United States, 1922. A football player training, 1929, Medford, United States. JFK and astronaut John Glenn, 23 February, 1962. Michelin Man stands next to an advertising vehicle used in Santa Clara in 1926. Muhammad Ali signing autographs for Dutch girls in Volendam, 1976. A flying saucer photographed at a junkyard in New Mexico, United States, 1962. Soviet and United States athletes at the opening ceremony of the 1980 Winter Olympics in Lake Placid, New York, with Yugoslav athletes in between them, February 13, 1980. Cigarette holder on the leg. Kennedy family, 1948. Sniper with a Zastava M76 from the Russian volunteer detachments that fought for the army of Republika Srpska in the Grbavica neighborhood of Sarajevo during the Bosnian War, circa April 1994. Sharon Stone in her youth. Seda groom and bride at their wedding in Värska Setomaa, Estonia in 1912. August 1938. Two women playing with hoops and sticks on the sands at Shanklin, Isle of Wight. French writer, journalist, and critic Marc de Montifaux, born Marie-Amélie Kivogne, often dressed in men's clothes and used he or she interchangeable with no problem from family and friends, circa 1870. Dick Van Dyke was arrested on January 22, 1966 for not dressing Western enough during Parada del Sol in Scottsdale, Arizona. Carole Lombard, born Jane Alice Peters, 1908 to 1942, American film actress, the highest paid actress in Hollywood in the 1930s. Close friends Willie Nelson and Jimmy Carter on stage at the Merriweather Post Pavilion, 1978. A view of Arthur Street, Edinburgh, Scotland, 1960. Preparations for a mensur, a traditional, strictly regulated saber fight between two male members from different student fraternities, usually in Germany. Belgian Minerva armored car, model 1914. A man and elephants at the zoo. Russian royals. United States Army Air Force's pilots have a snowball fight in front of a Curtiss P-40 at Patterson Field, Keflavik in Iceland, 1943. Paul Newman and Elizabeth Taylor in Cat on a Tin Roof, 1958. Crowds gather at Les Invalides in Paris to see a dead whale, 1960s. Abe Lincoln refusing to straighten his hair, 1857. The Gene Autry, the singing cowboy with his 1939 Diamond T rig, traveling in the 1940s.